Pro Boxing Fans here with Adam Smith. Adam, we're here, take two, Shields versus Marshall. That press conference was fiery by the co-main and the main event. Let's talk about the main event first of all. Wow.
We don't want to postpone it and have a third press conference because I'm absolutely loving this. This is the culmination of so much work about developing women's boxing and women's sport. And I think at Sky, we've been pioneers with that. I take us back to 2012 where Savannah Marshall was one of our scholars. Fantastic times. Johnny and I were lucky enough to have been at the Katie Taylor-Tasha Jonas fight, which broke decibels, and something happened that day that made me think, and Jane Couch had been in my ear for years, something made me think, when are we going to get the women to the place of the men, elite? You saw the Lionesses in the summer, and that was fantastic. We've seen it in cricket, in rugby, in golf, in netball. There's an immense growth in women's sport. But I've known for a long time, and many of us around the boxing business have, how great our women are. And to have Claressa Shields and Savannah Marshall, 10 years on from what happened at the Worlds, and obviously what happened again at the Olympics, and then Claressa dominating the Olympics in London and again in Rio, and both of them being unbeaten, both of them being world champions at middleweight, a true rivalry. Spice, needle, at the presses, but elite, class, athleticism, quality, they're the best. And we're seeing not only them fight, but we're also seeing the best at super featherweight with Michaela Mayer and Alicia Baumgardner. We're also seeing the best three Olympians out of Tokyo, the females that are going to transcend the sport. Caroline Dubois is going to be astonishing. Trust me on that. Lauren and Caris are going to move into other areas beyond boxing. They are the dynamic duo that I was insistent to Ben Shalom that he signed. We have the future of women's boxing. I look at Katie Taylor, who's my friend. We formerly worked together. I will be ringside in a couple of weeks when she fights, along with my kids who look up to her, my girls especially. She was the pioneer in this generation. Her fight against Amanda Serrano was an epic, a classic, and we've seen Terry Harper come back. I'm delighted for her. Chantel Cameron in a huge fight coming up against Jessica McCaskill. This is our turn. This is the chance for Sky viewers and the casual fans, the football fans, the families to come in and watch what our women can do. This is the platform. This is what we've dreamt of, and we're 2 days away. And this time it's going to happen.
How difficult is it going to be for all four fighters, the co-main and the main, to push aside their emotions? Very emotional press conferences, both of them just then. Push away their emotions in the ring and make sure they stick to a game plan, because could that be the winning factor or the losing factor? As
with everything in boxing, you tend to know some fighters better than others. I've known Savannah since she was very young. We've had it all the way through pretty much. Claressa I've got to know in recent times. Michaela, I've spent a lot of time with this year. We've commentated together, so I think I know her pretty well. I didn't know Alicia too well until 5 weeks ago. She is some character. She has some backstory, and she is just providing real electricity into this promotion. She's trying to wind up Michaela. She's trying to get her out of her rhythm, her comfort zone. But they're doing it for a reason. These are four elite professionals. They were great amateurs as well, and ultimately they are going to listen to their corners. They've got fantastic training teams, whether it's Peter Fury or Coach Al or John David, whoever. They've got wonderful professional teams who are around them, and tactics will be employed on Saturday night. This is a business, but it's also entertainment. And we're loving what they're doing, but I, for one, know that they all respect each other very much, and I know that they'll all be, once it's all said and done on Saturday night, sitting down and having a good chat about it.
I spoke to Claressa and Michaela yesterday, and I said, this is like the pinnacle of your career. You both wanted this fight. Claressa wanted to avenge the loss. Savannah's been after this fight for a long time. When the dust settles, once the results in, whoever loses, whoever wins, what happens next? Because this is it.
It's not it. This is a moment where things are going to change. Katie Taylor's been earning great money in the last few years, and well done to Brian Peters and Eddie Hearn and everyone that's been involved in that. Look at Jake Paul get behind Amanda Serrano. This is the change. This is changing times. People are going to look back on October the 15th and say, wow, the first ever all-female card. We're going to go from strength to strength. This is going to inspire the next generation. Michaela didn't have anyone to look up to. Claressa looked up to Layla Ali. Savannah looked up to the boys in her club. Okay? She then got to know Nicola and Tasha, but at the beginning she looked up to the boys. She had no role models. They are the role models for the next generation. This is going to be an enormous growth in boxing, period. Let's not even say women's boxing, in boxing. So that the kids, the next generation, who a lot of them are going to be there on Saturday night, are going to look up. I remember Anthony Crolla telling me when he was an 11, 12-year-old boy, he looked at Ricky Hatton. He said, one day I'm going to be that man. I'm going to have my stage. But if he hadn't had Ricky, he wouldn't have done that. Caroline looks up to Claressa. When she was 11, she looked up at 2012 going, how can I? She can't believe she's on this card. 2 or 3 years' time, Caroline Dubois is going to be a multi-weight world champion. And she's going to be packing out stadiums, not arenas. Listen to me on this. This is only the beginning. What are the 4 of them going to do after Saturday night? We might dance again. Let's have some rematches. We have great rivalries. This is fantastic for the sport, and well done to Boxer, to Top Rank, to Salita Promotions, to Matchroom, to everyone coming together to make this happen, and to Sky for putting it on our platform and not on Box Office. It's on Sky Sports. People are going to look back at this night. It's a great, great day and a great night for the sport.
Do you want to move away from this fight? On Saturday night, there's a return of the bronze bomber, Deontay Wilder. I know you've covered a few of his fights. You've been, you've been there when he's knocked out people.
I can't believe he's not going to be there at the O2 commentating with us on Saturday night. The bronze bomber loved Deontay Wilder. Spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. He is ready. He saw a statue made to him. He said, I cannot let the fans down. I have to give them more. He's wonderful. He's put the scuba diving on hold. He's back in the ring entertaining us. Absolutely love it. The bronze bomber is back. Fantastic. I wish him well against Robert Helenius. What a weekend. We've got Devin Haney and Cambosis also on Sky. You can't be everywhere. I think we are in the right place. I think the best is at the O2, but even Eddie's down under. There's lots of shows going on, which is fantastic for boxing. And after the last couple of weeks, it's important that we've got a great deal of shows going on, and the world turns, because it's been a tough. Let's be honest. You haven't asked me yet, but it's been a tough 2-3 weeks in boxing with the Fury AJ situation, with Eubank Ben, and we need a good weekend. We need a great weekend, in fact, for the sport. I believe we're going to get it in London, and I hope we get it all around the world.
What did you make of last week's events? I'm not going to, obviously, certain things I can ask you, but what did you make of the events of last week, the fight being on, even though somebody failed, and then the fight being called off? What do you make of that?
And sure, it's not our show, and it's not really for us to get involved in. And I've told all of our Sky people, it's not really our business. However, we sympathise. We are broadcasters. We worked for a long time with Calais and Eddie. They're friends. They're in difficult situations. The board's in a difficult situation. I mean, where do we go? Let's just go back a little bit, okay? Fury AJ, very disappointed that fight didn't happen. Again, it wasn't a Sky fight, it was a BT and DAZN fight. I had conversations with various people involved. I really wanted to try and help push it forward. I know that both Tyson wanted the fight and AJ wanted the fight. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Time ran out, contracts didn't happen. Fury fights Chisora, AJ goes again, who he fights, whether it's an Ariola, an Otto Wallin, whatever. He'll come back, and good luck to both of them, and we move on. But that was disappointing. It's disappointing for the fans. I'm a fan. My kids are fans. My friends are fans. They wanted to see Fury AJ. We didn't get it. A shame. And at 60-40, a real shame. However, we move on. We're going to get Eubank Ben. Difficult fight with the weight, always tricky, but a fight that captured the imagination. My 15-year-old son was going for his birthday. He couldn't wait. And he said to me, when it all broke with Conor failing the drug test, he said to me, Dad, we can't go now. There's no fight. Conor's failed a drugs test, Chris can't fight him. I said, well, wait a minute, the fight's not definitely off yet. And we didn't have it off until, obviously, Cal and Eddie made that announcement. But that's pretty simplistic, isn't it, from a 15-year-old who just wants to see boxing and a fair playing field. He just wants to see two guys clean fighting each other. The weight was always a problem. We heard seniors' reluctance to it. Junior wanted to fight. Conor, always a tough fight for him against someone who was bigger. Very shocked to hear Conor failed the drugs test. Know him well. Very, very shocked and surprised. I'm not going to comment. I don't know what's happened. A VADA test. What I do know is that the board came out, made the right decision. And ultimately, Callie and Eddie made the right decision. The show couldn't go on. Very, very disappointing for the undercard fighters particularly. Chris handled himself extremely well, and Conor has obviously got a fight on his hands, and he tells me, he messaged me the other day and said, I'm a clean athlete, I'm very diligent about what I put in my body, and you want to believe him. Facts are facts. He failed a drugs test. We need to see how it unfolds, but it was a bad week for boxing.
Eddie's actually not done many interviews afterwards, and he did say, one thing he did say, he was baffled by the opinion of certain people from Sky, especially after the Dillian White situation. What do you want to say in regards to that?
Why do you think I haven't done any interviews? I haven't done any interviews because it's not Sky's business. I worked with Eddie and Calla for a long, long time. I know what they're going through. This is a very, very tough situation for everybody. Everybody. And look, ultimately, there's situations that occur every day in boxing, which are difficult. The board are there to make the decisions. They are our governing body, they're our administrators, and when they say something, you have to listen to them. And ultimately, sense prevailed, and that's what happened. But I feel for them. I feel for DAZN, I feel for Matchroom, I feel for Wasserman, I feel for all of them. Because there is a lot of money on the table. There is a lot of fans who are disappointed. There are undercard fighters who are very disappointed that they didn't get paid, that they didn't get on. It was a bad, bad week for boxing. But there have been bad weeks in the past, which we recover from. And I want to make it clear, there is no place for drugs in this sport. Absolutely none. I, like you, hope Conor Benn is innocent of this. I hope that the failed drug test that he got from VADA, there is an explanation. I don't know if there will be. He's failed a test. It's up to him and his team to go through that process. Obviously, there's a legal process. There's a process for Matchroom, for Wasserman, for everyone involved, for the board. Nothing to do with us. It's not our fight.
Just a final one. Your old friend, Kell Brook, seems like he's training again. He's just talked yesterday saying that he's training again, and possibly that fight with Chris Eubank Jr., which we were talking about maybe a year ago. Could we be seeing that maybe?
Why has Kell not called me up? Why is he not? Is he worried that I'm going to say, Kell, what are you doing? I thought we were in retirement now. I wonder whether that would be short-lived. I thought Amir would retire. I wasn't quite as sure about Kell. I thought he made a very hasty announcement. There's options. Chris Eubank Jr., Liam Smith, there's always fights out there. Look, I'm not with Kell every day. Dominic is. If he feels he needs to fight again, then we'll look at him and we'll look at what the possibilities are. I've known him since he was 10. I adore Kell Brook. I've known Derek Chisora since he was however old. I don't want these fighters to go on too long. Derek's got a big fight coming up against Tyson Fury, and we wish him well in it. But I love fighters, and I don't want to see them go on too long. But it's up to them when they retire. We're not there to tell them what to and what not to. I just want a good week for boxing after a rough couple of weeks. And my heart goes out to everyone who was involved last week, because it's a very difficult situation. And we've just got to hope that the health and safety of our athletes. I can see Spencer Oliver out of the corner of my eye. Spencer is not only one of my best friends in life, but he had his life saved in 1998, and ultimately we still got him today. And the board had the best medical people around, and we got him back. Look what a character he is on the scene today. The health and safety of our athletes is the most important thing, and we have to listen to our board and work with our board And we learn things every day. We all do in this business. But ultimately, we're the broadcasters, and we work with the board and with our promoters, Boxer and Top Rank and Matchroom in the past. Great to see Frank Smith here today, by the way. They're still friends of ours, and we're all in this business because we love boxing, and we want good to come out of it.
Adam Smith, always a pleasure to talk to yourself. Thank you so much for giving me your time today. Thank you so much.